good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name is Jade, this is How to App on iOS, and today we're looking at SideBand Reverb. Hello, I hope you're all doing well. If you're watching over on Facebook, welcome to you. Is it lonely over there? You can always join us over at the YouTube at youtube.com/JadeStarr, or you can always head over to Twitch at twitch.tv/howtoapp on iOS, or funnily enough, you can always head over to the website at howtoapp on iOS, which is easy to find, howtoapponIOS.com, or you can go to jadestar.com.au, which takes you to my website. You can access it either way. And by the way, the page has been updated last night with just a few things, just some of the new releases that have come out from my bands, Kindercore and stuff like that. Some updated content, all the shop details have been updated to buy music. Oops, there are all the links, so everything's all updated with Metheist and utensils and all my bands and stuff like that. Kindercore is now there, which is cool. Yay, got the logo up there, so I spent a bit of time working on that. Plus, there's the How to App section, which you can find up the top on the end. And as you can see, the show's broadcast live into the website every day. Previous episodes, playlists, all that kind of stuff, you can find them all there. So there's a quick plug for that bizzo. We've got that out of the way. I hope everybody's doing well in the chat. And remember, we all rise together. Hello, Audible Video. Not a Box is here. Russ is here. Also, Paying to Get is here. Ching, ching, bing, ling. Andy Goldsby. MediaWeb Records. Hello to you. Who else do I see in my magic mirror? Oh, I've just given away something cool. Cy, it's effing good to see you. Thomas Christ, another wonderful moderator along with Cy and Russ and the gang. Who else? Thomas Gillane is here. Been jamming since birth is here also. Stu Cash, we've got both of the Indigo Sunsets here today, which is really cool because we're going to be looking at some of people's music who's here, because it is about community, and that's what this channel has always been about and always will be. We are Roses. Hello to you. Not only people's music, we're looking at an app today and using their music to look at that app. Hembo Hounslow, Jamie Mellender, dude, what's going on? Good to see you back streaming, Jamie. Happy days, man. We missed you. Who else do I see? I said Audible Video, yes. Kim Harden Hudson, hello to you. What else do I have to cover? Do I have to cover anything? Oh yeah, so want to thank all the people who are patrons. Your support is awesome. Without your support, you know the deal, I wouldn't be here. And back. So thank you very much for that. For the people who are patrons, we'll let you know midweek next week, starting a new thing on the Patreon for 4 weeks. So each week I'm going to be cooking different app-shaped cookies. I jest. I will be doing that if we reach 50 patrons. All right. No, I'm starting a new thing every Wednesday, but it will be at a really odd time zone. I'm going to be doing it at my 10 o'clock in the evening, so the opposite end of the time scale from what I am now at 6 a.m. And I'm going to be doing a 4-week special, creating a song in GarageBand on Mac using my iPad only as the source of input. So that should be heaps of fun. Yeah, can I do it? I think I can. I think it's very exciting because I have a new Mac Mini I've had since January sitting here. I've never used it to make any music in GarageBand. So I thought, what better way than to throw it up on the Patreon, do it live, and see if I can use my iPad 2018 Pro to make music on GarageBand, on Mac, on my M1 with my iPad only. So that should be heaps of fun. I know. I think I can. I can do it. Hello, Kev Hart. Hello, Mr. Gusset. Bless you. Good to see you, my friend. And what are we looking at? Are there any price drops? We should do that really quickly. Price drops. Wrong link. There we go. Funnily enough, the ones that are up here today that are new, from the developer who we're going to be talking about today, from 4Pockets, TalkWorks and Visual EQ Console. Both of those apps I have done shows on. If you would like to go back and have a look, you can find those shows. $7.99 to $5.99 and $5.99 to $4.99. Those are the price drops. There you go. Nice and big. There you go. Whoa, 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 whoa. Cool beans. I was possessed by Doug. All right, something else. Speaking of 4Pockets, I'm still currently on the beta for Helium, and I noticed there was an update today for Helium. So this is a sneak peek of what's coming for those of you who have Helium. It's been updated to now work on the iPhone. Interesting. I wonder how that's going to go. I guess there was enough people screaming out at Paul saying, "You want it on my iPhone? God damn it!" So that looks like a thing, and I expect the rate Paul releases things, it should be out sometime in the next few days or early next week or something like that, because it's just dropped as a beta. So Helium now for iPhone. So speaking of 4Pockets, this is we're looking at an app today by 4Pockets, which is let me bring it up here. SideBand Remix. And there you go. There it is on the App Store. It is $7.99 US and UK. No, yeah, that's right, $7.99. A bit more expensive here in Australia, around $10.99, something like that. So it's a little bit more expensive here in Oz. What does it do? So it does a few things. And the one thing that's always hard with these kind of apps, doing a show on them, is showing you the exactly how much this can do, because it's the subtlety of this app. And like with any compressor or kind of post, because this is really a post mastering, post kind of vocal mastering app, so it can be quite challenging to show you exactly how good this is. So if you don't have headphones on, you're probably not going to hear anything today. So if you do have headphones on, you should hear the little subtleties of this, and I will do my best to give you a good impression of how this works and what it can do for a post master. Or if you've mastered something and say there's a little bit too much reverb, you can't get that, you can't unbake that reverb out of a track. But with this, you actually can do that, and you can make some vocals pop up the middle of the mix, or you could even pull them back if they're a little bit too loud, or you can even give them a bit of a razzle dazzle, give them a bit of excitement, and make them a little bit brighter, and give them a bit of a tang, a bit of a spicy meatball, as Chandler's Wildlife would say. So yeah, there's all that. And how am I going to do this today? I am going to open it up in AUM and play for you a bunch of amazing artists who are from this amazing iOS community, and use their music to show you. Yeah, because we all rise together, and that's what this channel's always been about. Yeah, about building each other up and supporting each other's music. So if you do see other people in the chat, you're watching on the replay, you're here live, you see people that you may not have never clicked on their profile, and I'm not threatening you and telling you to go subscribe to their channel like Hippie. Boom. You know, there, sub them up, folks, sub them up, boom. Love you, Hippie. But check them out. Check out the people you may not have checked their music before. You may be surprised, We're all in this together, So I'm going to kick off today with one of my tracks, just to get something really old of mine out the way and see if we can spice it up a bit. It's a Dread Circus track. And let's open up SideBand Remix so you can have a look at the interface. Very clean and simple interface. Nothing too complex, so don't be too afraid of it. Sometimes these apps can look a bit daunting when you first open them up. And I'm going to do my best to try and explain how I'm using it, because, always remember too, me showing you these apps, the way I'm doing it doesn't necessarily mean it's the right way. But what way is the right way? It's about living dangerous and trying things out and fucking up, to be quite frank, making mistakes, because everything's digital. And if you make a mistake, you can just redo it. Nobody's like going to punish you for it, and you're not losing a lot of money for doing so. So we'll hit play on the track, and basically when you open this up, it's kind of set at like a 0. What you're going to hear is exactly how the track is. Boom. Okay, there you go. There's a little taste of what it sounds like, just to give you some background, which I'll try and give you some background on all of these tracks, because I've had a little bit of a hand in some of them, maybe mastering them, or, you know, with a lot of these artist tracks today. With this one, this was recorded back in 2007. The drums were recorded in a recording studio. Then the rest of the music was recorded in like situation like I have here in my bedroom, using an old computer. It was done in Logic back on Windows, the last version of Logic on Windows, which was 5.5, and all of the instruments like the cellos and everything, the guitars and all that stuff is all done by me and all this kind of stuff. Hello fam, good to see you. So what does this do off the bat? Now, the first two things we're going to talk about, in the middle here, these two indicators, these are your left and right, so your side. You'll see here, and we've got a center and a side. So this is where you'll see what's going on the side, and what happens in the side of these tracks when you master them, and when you you know, you've got your panning. So you know about panning when you record tracks. So when you open it up using this, anything that's been panned left or right, like a quarter left or a quarter right, or hard panned, or any reverb will be found in the side here. And then everything else will be found up the center. And what this app does is it splits things up into 3 portions. So your lows, your mids, and your highs. And everything that's in the mids goes up the center, and everything in the lows and highs goes up the sides here. And to show you this, and we will break down all of the all of the knobs here on this app. But to kick off, you've got these two. All the side stuff will be in here before I jump forward, and all of the stuff in the center will sit in this little circle up here, right? So there you go. That's how you'll differentiate what's going on. Now to the left here, you've got these 2 buttons, these crossovers. And how these work, so if I turn these all the way down, this A, I'm going to turn that all the way down to 87 Hertz, and turn this one all the way up. And you'll notice, as I'm turning them, and if you turn them both to each extreme end, both will go off. So now, this is a setting that's Paul's very cleverly put in here. So right now, everything's set off. So when I play this track, check this out. I can now pull out the center mix and just leave the side mix going. So all you'll hear is, and take into account too, full transparency, I couldn't find the actual master of this track. So it's maybe a copy that's been dragged through the mud a bit and been copied, and I don't know. It's not its peak quality, let's say. So you will hear that a little digital distortion in there, right? So let's take this to the start. So now if I pull back the center, all you can hear now is what's panned, and so you can hear there's a bit of yuck in there, because as I said, it's not a really good copy, but I thought I would start with something that's a bit bung, yeah? So you can hear that. But what's in this side right now is any reverb or anything that's been split, yeah? So now when the vocals start, so you can do this only when you've got these 2 crossover buttons turned to the extreme left and extreme right once it's off. So if I wanted to bring up some of this, basically this ambient sound and what's been panned, I can crank this up a bit and then bring in the main. Now you're going to hear this with other tracks, and it's going to make a lot more sense. So, but what I just want to do with this one to kick off, because it is a bit of a ratty kind of older file that's been transferred a few times. It could have even been, it could have gone from a WAV to an MP3 and then back to a WAV. That's what I think. I think I rushedly did this to send to someone. It wasn't an important thing. So what I want to do is just give this a little bit of life for this one, right? So now that I've shown you what happens when you turn the crossovers off, let's show you what happens when you turn them on. So just so you understand, hello Mobile Music Pro, Vortex. Now I'm going to turn up the crossover A and the crossover B, and I'm going to put them about a quarter on each side, yeah? So now that we're in this setting, try and picture this. Everything that's in this section here of crossover A is your lows, right? So all the way up to 221 hertz they're your lows. And everything over here that's 1662 down to the end are your highs. And then everything from here to over here in the middle is controlled by this. And everything on either end is controlled by this. All right, hopefully you're following me there. So now if I hit play, and I pull down this center mix, now in this sideband, this side track, you can hear there's a lot more going on because we've got the lows in here and we've got the highs all coming through here. Yeah? Hope everyone's following. So now when I bring up the center, this is all the mids. Cool stuff. So now what we can do from here is we can actually start transferring mids and lows and highs between these two things, right? So I can actually start transferring some of the lows and highs from this center mix over to this side, or any of the lows and highs from this side over to the center. It's an incredible amount of control for something that's already been mastered and is baked in, as they say, you know. It's not, remember, ultimately, take this advice. When you're mixing and creating a song and mixing down and mastering, you want to always, even down to recording each track, you want to get it right at the fucking source. Make sure every track is fucking beautiful before you mix down. And make sure when you mix down, everything is mixed to the as best you can get before you master, because you don't want to be using this as a fix-it. You want to be using something like this as a little bit of pizzazz, a little bit of a magica, a little bit of bellissimo. You know what I'm saying? It's all about that. So you can, and we'll go through and show you how much you can add a little bit of sparkle to this, a little bit of shine, spit and polish, if you know what I mean. Alrighty, so let's talk about this little button here. So what happens, you've got this little button here that says bias and lift. And when we're in bias section, basically what you can do is you can transfer, this is where you can transfer from the center to the side or the side to the center, right? But when you change to lift mode, whatever you're lifting, you're actually lifting up that value instead of transferring from. Yeah? If you're following me. So let's have it play. We'll just stop again. So you'll see with this low and high over here, instead of it being like up, when you turn it this way, it's actually turning up the low or turning up the high. It's moving over to the center. And when you turn it to the other side, it's moving to the side. So you're transferring these lows and highs between the side and the center, these two in the middle. So it's like a bit of a balancing act, yeah? Right, you got two plates on a stick, spinning them around. You're just balancing that counterweight across to try and make things sound a little bit. You may have a little bit of bass missing out of the vocal. You just want to give it a little bit of pa-pa-pa-pa, and so that's pa-pa-pa-pa, whatever the fuck that is. So let's have a play. So again, it's probably really subtle, but we'll do it again. We'll keep playing. We'll turn this back to the center. And what I did there was turn up, and I did it to the extreme, yeah? So you'll hear, I'm actually, I've turned down the side, but you will hear the bass pump up a little bit in this vocal, or in this part of the mix. Yeah? Same thing over here. If I pull this to the side, now it's taking away from the side. You see what I'm saying? So you're subtracting and pumping. Anyway. So what we're going to do with this song, because there isn't too much I want to do to it. All I really want to do is try and give it some sparkle, because it's a terrible version of the file, as we've talked about. Yeah. So. Yeah, it's about subtle changes too, Si. Even with this, and I will go extreme on this today and turn things up full, because it's hard to show you over YouTube with the terrible sample rate that we're experiencing through YouTube. You know, you got to take. That's why showing compression apps are really hard as well. Yeah. So we've got this other function up here. If I click this. This is a harmonic enhancer, and this is definitely something for you to play with. There's no correct way to use this. And in here, you've got some frequency ranges, mid, high, and a low. And you'll see as I change these, your ranges are changing in between here. So when I click the low, between 21 and 250, it's enhancing those ranges. Then you've got your mid and your high, and you've got these little profiles, kind of like little algorithms that are in here that you can fuck around with at your own will and see what works for you. So for this, excuse me, coffee's making me burp, damn. I want to give this just a little bit of high enhancement, harmonic enhancement. So, well, it's not turned on at the moment. And what I'm going to do, first, we'll bring this back to the start. I actually want to bring up this side mix a little bit louder, because it's not such a good copy of a file. And I'll bring this center up to about 0. Bring it up to 0. And let's have a play. So now I'm going to turn it on. And instantly, just a bit brighter there. I can boost this up to the extreme. Let's show you the mid to the extreme. I'll show you the low to the extreme. But I only want a little bit of high, so I'm going to leave this at around 50, yeah? Because I want it to be subtle. So I'm only going to go into this kind of depth of all the controls on this particular song, and then with all the other songs we'll play around with them and get some interesting sounds and see if we can boost some vocals, subtract some vocals, and we've got different vocal styles. So over to the side here, you've got like a universal control set. So you've got your output, you've got these filters. So you've got a low shelf and a high shelf filter over here, which is the reason this is over here is just in case what you're doing over here gets a little bit out of hand and gets a little bit cray-cray. You can reel this back in by clicking on this filter, and you have a low shelf just to tame it back a bit if you've just lost control. The other thing to remember, if you do lose control of what's happening, there's a wonderful little reset button up here, which you can click and boom. Everything goes back to how you were. Because this is the thing with mixing and mastering or post-mastering, things can get a little bit crazy. You can go a little bit too far and then you're like, fuck, what am I doing, man? What am I doing? Well, this is the thing, Audible Video. You can actually use this. So I'm not going to do actually give you an example of this today, but I will tell you this now because it's a good question, Audible Video. This is really good for making vocals pop. All right, so think about this. You mix down a song, right, and it sounds great. And then you put it into a mastering thing like Lessons, or you put it into a Final Touch, whatever, on iOS, and you master it down. But for some reason, the vocals are popping too loud. But in the mix, they sounded fine. And you've tried to EQ, and you can add a little bit of zest to this as well. So you don't have to use this. But this can help maybe make some vocals pop in a different way. But, you know, so plus, this is really handy. Just say you have a whole bunch of drum loops, yeah? And you've downloaded them, and each one of them have reverb baked into them, just a little bit of reverb. With this, as I said, you can pull back this side mix from a drum loop and tame that reverb out, so you can kind of unbake the reverb, yeah? That would, and if you want to see an example of that, the reason I'm not gonna really do that today is Paul from 4 Pockets on his YouTube channel has a video on this app and actually shows you at the end of the video just how easy it is just to pull out this little sideband, this little side level, and just unbake some of that reverb. So, and really, really good too for, you know, not all people have the skills of using, you know, you may use, you got to remember too, Audible, there are some people who may just use an online service to master their song and just put the song up online and then it comes back to them and maybe they're not happy with it. There are probably still people out there who send their songs off to somebody to master, like people do on my show, on the Patreon every weekend. And they might not be happy with it, but they might just be able to open up this and just add a few little things just to fix that, just to correct that a little bit to make them feel a bit happy, make some of the bass drop out of it, you know. So it's a great tool for that. So there's many uses for it. I think the thing is you've got to use your imagination to, you know, do what you think is cool. So it's a really cool tool, and I'm telling you, there's going to be quite a few of these coming out. There's already another one happening as well. Hello, Ivan. Good to see you. Hello, Pete Johns. So let's reset this, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do to this song to make it pop the way I think it's going to work. So I'm not going to do too much to it, yeah? Basically, I'll walk you through it. We'll turn it down a little bit. So we'll hit play again. So I'm going to move this crossover on the right to about 1578 and about 209 over on crossover A. So this is our mid-range now in between. And this is our side here with any reverb or ambient noise or any panning. I'm going to pump this up a bit. I want this to be a little bit louder in the mix, right? I want this to complement the main center. I'm going to bring in a little bit of bass over here, not too much. And they're going to open up this enhancer, turn it on to this high range that's already set there. Here, there's probably not a lot of difference there, but here's the final thing which I'm going to do to really make this shine a little bit more, because I don't want to give too much enhancement. I just want to make the guitars ring a little bit more in this, because it's an old file. Then you've got over here, so as well as this high shelf and low shelf, which I'm not going to touch, you've got a punch button. And you can punch in and give a little bit of loudness, and you can control this from over here. You've got loudness and presence. I want to give it a little bit of presence. So I'm going to actually punch, give it a little bit of punch. Gives it volume as well, so we'll keep playing. So you can hear to the extreme when I turn that up. It's really made this this harmonic enhancer way too bright and kind of, yeah. Let's play again. Certainly want to punch it up a little bit. Right, there's a massive difference there. So hope you've got headphones on. So I'm going to hit play again with it off and listen when I turn it on. It just gives a little bit of warmth and makes it a little bit brighter and gives the guitars a bit of a ring. So here I'm going to kick it off with it off. That's all I really want to do with it because it's an old song. But we've got that out the way. So it's a bit more sparkly. That's all I wanted to do with it. And it's probably even a little bit too much. But I'm just trying to let you guys hear. So let's kick over because we're halfway through. And we're going to listen to some fantastic artists who are actually here today in the chat. And we'll kick off with... Who shall we kick off with? Let's kick off with Thomas Gillane. One of his... I'm not sure which should we start with. Thomas Gillane, who's here. So we'll take out that. We'll make sure that this is reset. Now remember what I said at the start of this. If we turn the crossovers hard left and half right, we're really going to get to hear what's going on with the ambience to the side, the reverb, and Thomas's voice.
On a breezy evening.
Now let's say goodbye to his voice. So as you see, now that I've turned these hard left and right and we have both off, only these center displays are showing the left side. As we bring up the center, you'll see the top part come back in. I know Thomas is having a heart attack right now. Where did my vocals go? But you'll notice you can still hear the reverb of Thomas's voice that he's baked into the track when he's mixed it, yeah? How cool is that? How fucking cool is that shit, man? It's fucking cool! So now we've taken out all the ambience. Wow. How much is lacking now from this song? And we're in mono now. Welcome.
Now that you've got the hang.
So the interesting thing about this track of Thomas's is it's very atmospheric and it builds all the way through and has these really dense big parts at the end that build up like a crazy orchestra and there's a lot going on and there's a lot of reverbs and stuff like that. So if he wanted to tame some of these out, you can actually do that, especially with this part. As you'll hear, the song's building up, so we'll play it here.
Every sane man has an itch in their skull. Have they all even scratched out or feel what they might be called? What they might be called. But the truth will set you free if you dance with me. You'll see the angels break chains and rip at their wings when in pain.
So what we're gonna, you can also, if you're like if you think Thomas's vocals are a little bit too loud in the mix, let's reset this. You can actually pull these back a little bit and bury them in there too. So let's set these crossovers. Now remember too with these crossovers, and this is homework for yourself to go and look up. It's good information to know. So with the vocals, with the mid frequencies, it's good to look up what ranges that normally work between male and female voices and understand those ranges to complement this in-between section here. So let's just hit play with how it's set here. We'll go back to the start actually. So actually what I'm going to do with this mix, give it a bit of punch, and I'm going to try and just reel in Thomas's main vocal a little bit, just to make it sit a little bit more. That's all I really want to do for this. It's not a criticism on the song.
On a breezy evening, you beckon me in need of saving. You don't know how to dance, and you'd like to learn from me. I'll show you the ropes, just follow my footsteps. You'll be fine, I swear. I just hope that your spine can bend like mine, and it goes like da-dee-da-dee-da, da-da-da-da-dee-da-dee-da. Will you dance with me, dance with me? Will you dance with me, dance with me? Now that you've got the hang of it, I see a flaw. Your sanity's holding you back. Every sane man has an itch in their skull. Have they all even scratched out or feel for?
So hopefully you could see there what I was doing by bringing up that side mix. I'm actually bringing up all that ambience and all that reverb that he's built in there, and I can make it overrun his vocal, yeah? And it's very, very, very cool. So basically it stretches my voice a bit further from the center to the sides. Yeah, that's what you're doing. You're transferring things from the center, from the mids out to the bass, the lows and the highs. So you're just transferring things around. It's just like shuffling around shit. Shuffling papers, yeah? So, good stuff. And I have left links for everybody's song in the description. Thank you so much, Russ. You rock, my friend. So, yeah, as you can see there, pretty incredible stuff that you can take out all of that atmosphere and really suck the life out of the song. Let's.
What they might be called.
So you can hear more of what Thomas is doing with his voice.
But the truth will set you free if you dance with me. You'll see the angels break chains and rip at their wings when in pain.
Let's show you what happens when we use the low shelf over here. So we'll just give you an extreme of what, just so you understand what's going on with it. So I've turned it on, and we'll turn up the low shelf and the high shelf just so you can hear the difference.
For light they set course with acid-filled lungs and barbed wired vocal cords. Well, you'll only see it when you dance with me.
So as I said, the filters over here, the low shelf and the high shelf, these are there just to like tame it back, to give you an overall. If you, whatever you've done over here, maybe just a little bit, you can just give it a quick low shelf, quick high shelf, and just tame it back in. So there you go. Let's jump over to another song because we've got 20 minutes. What shall we do next? Let's pull that out of there. Let's do Josephine de Smet. Yeah. So this is Josephine de Smet's brand new track that she released. We'll bring that in here and reset this, and we'll give you a play.
Something's hiding out. See it lurking in the shadows, and I'm crossing my heart that I'm not the one that they're coming to get, 'cause I'm still too young to be taken out. I know I don't really fit in the system they built. Gotta spell it out, but I can't resist to refuse to walk in their way.
So again, you can hear all the atmosphere and her backing vocals in there. So you can hear all that reverb in there. So even by using this setting with the crossovers off, this is a really cool way just to pull some of that baked in reverb out if you want to, without changing any of the lows or highs or anything like that. You're just pulling out some of these sides. Trust myself. This is a great song, man. So notice when I turn up the crossover, immediately some bass has been added to this side mix. Now now some of these highs are in. Now everything up the guts again in the mids will be.
Taking out a breath. Figured it might be my last, make my lungs explode. You bet I'm fearless now, but nothing is further from the truth. On the edge of it all, getting ready to fall. Each man for himself. I'm in need of some help. Don't wanna fall in love. They all look so blind. So I only trust myself.
It's a damn incredible tool, man. Absolutely incredible tool. Fantastic song. So again, I'm just tooling around. I'm not doing mixes. I'm not doing final masters of these. Just want to show you different songs and how you can tool around with them. Because ultimately, this app's for you guys to grab a hold of and see if it's worth playing around with your songs. Because there's a lot of possibilities with this app. Fantastic stuff. So even as I said, if you've got like drum loops that you want to pull some of the reverb out of, you want to pop, you can add some of that sparkle at the end and really get a bit of distortion on it as well by pumping out the volume. Let's bring in, I don't know, the Indigo Sunsets. And we'll start with all of these by pulling all the vocals out so you can hear what's going on.
I'm
stumbling in.
That never gets old, trust me. What an incredible thing to be able to do with a finished song. Absolutely stupid. That's what everybody hears through the doors downstairs. Shut up. Right. Let's play around with this. So now we're in mono. Remember, as soon as I bring this out of off mode, bring it out of this mode and select a selection of low, mid and high and pull out the side, it goes immediately to mono. Yeah, listen to it happen.
I've been hanging on the line, pushing buttons all the time, always waiting for a sign, and I've got nowhere to hide.
So the other thing I forgot to mention down here, when you flick this button back and forward, this flicks between the center and the side. So you'll notice this when we hit play, and you'll see, remember, these LED lights are the side, and this top one is the center.
Extraordinary life, deceived 1,000 times. I'm wide awake, it's crystal clear to see what's going down.
So basically, this enhancer up here, this we turn this on, is a really great way just to bring some fucking life to either mids, lows, or highs. So if something's missing in there, just to bring it to life and then tame it back. I'll turn it up for full.
You can get your it's your last goodbye. I've been drinking on my own and I'm sinking like a stone, saying nothing down the phone, and I've got nowhere to hide. I've been hanging on the line, pushing buttons all the time, always waiting for a sign, and I've got nowhere to
So you can hear it. It's a bit flat there. It's just a bit poppier now. That's off.
It's your last goodbye. I've been drinking on my own and I'm sinking like a stone, saying nothing down the phone, and I've got nowhere to hide.
Pretty damn cool stuff, you know. And hey, if you've got a track that you want to turn mono, bang, pretty easy as well. So you can just bang it in there. Not only is it good for like turning a track mono, because you can do stuff like that in like audio share or something like that, but in here you can turn a track mono and then give it a bit of bass, a bit of uplift, a bit of sparkle. So you know, and it's a nice. I'm sure there are people out there who would just use this to master. What are the rules of music? You know what? There are no fucking rules. And if people tell you there are rules, tell them to fuck off, because they're only limiting you from your best music at the end of the day. I'm going to introduce you to someone else's music who you may never have heard before. And this is somebody named, who's in the chat with us, Not a Box. who we've got to know over on Patreon, and he's sent in a few songs for us to master over the few weeks that he's been a patron.
We are free.
So you may never have heard Not a Box's music, and now you're going to. Hey, Notta! Let's hear what's going on. Smash. Did you hear the difference there? Wow. Hey, Darren Anderson. What's going on, mate? Massive difference, yeah? That bass is pumped up a little bit. Let's turn it on again. Fuck! Nice stuff. There you go. You know, look what I really haven't done much there. And you know, look, at the end of the day, I'm just fucking around with this. You can really get intricate and find exactly what hertz you want to split your mids up with here. So I'm just tooling around with this. But that's what it's all about. Tool around till it sounds good to your fucking ears. That's all that matters. All I've added here is a tiny little bit of punch. We've added some a bit of boost over here with the highs again. And we'll go back to the start. Just bypass it. Let's listen to, again.
We are free to be.
When it comes in. Lovely. Cool. Thank you all, everybody, for sharing your music with us today. So yeah, I'll make sure these settings all get saved, and I will send this off to you later on Otterbox. So who have we got last? I think there's only one more person in here that we're going to play today, and that is Pete Johns. Why not? Let's do some Pete Johns. Yeah, we have to do some Pete Johns. What have we got? Let's do Murdering Time. Because I'm murdering the last few minutes of this show. Thank you all for being here and hanging out today. Let's do the usual.
Holy senses.
So you can hear when Pete did this song, it's got a fair bit of reverb on the vocals there going on. This is really interesting because you can hear what people did with their mixes, yeah? There's me drumming on this song as well. You can hear my ride cymbal. We can bring Pete back in. For this song, what we'll do, we'll tame out some of that. We'll tame out some of that reverb and pull it out a bit. Yeah.
I'm murdering time to save myself and others from the thoughts in my mind. I'm murdering time, so I don't end up taking a life. Murdering time. I dream of someday.
So this is the mix.
My thoughts return to
And then when I turn it back on, it just gets a bit brighter, yeah? You ready? So you can hear that ride a little bit more. We could probably tame some of that low.
these thoughts in my head. They spin around like carousel. I may be violent,
Nice, yeah?
but I just keep it to myself.
Remember, with all this stuff, less is more. Subtlety, 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 subtlety. You don't want to fucking over bake this shit in because it's baked in forever. And people will hear if it's over, if you've spewed all this stuff over. This thing is there to be used, you know, very sparingly and just as, you know, this is just a little bit of polish on the end of hopefully a good master and a good mix. And if you just want to give it that little sprinkle of fairy dust on your bread, this is your app. $7.99. Damn good stuff, yeah? On your Paul, another great job. I think it's a really ace app. And I'm sure there's going to be more of these kind of coming out post mastering. You know, it's a thing, and there's post mastering in Final Touch. So don't let me tell you that this is replacing something Final Touch. There is post and pre in things like Final Touch, but not all the time. You know, as I said, you may send something to someone, may come back. It's a handy tool to have in your toolbox. Do you need it right now? You may not. It's always on the App Store for you to grab. Anyway, thank you guys for joining me today. Let me go in and just save this session. So Notabox's settings are all saved there, yeah? Pretty cool how you can remove vocals out of there. Now, I know Pete Johns has got a show pre-recorded coming up next. And I want to thank all of the fantastic artists and all you guys for supporting the channel as always. Thank you for the artists for letting me use your songs today. We all rise together. It's all about, you know, and go and check the links. Go and click on their music. Go and support them. They do their best to make their best music for themselves, and hopefully you enjoy it as well. So we'll wrap up today with a brand new segment that I've got for you guys. Thank you very much. I will see you again tomorrow we're looking at LumaFusion first, same time tomorrow. It's a Q&A, and I'm going to do a little bit of a lesson on how to use the animations and stuff in LumaFusion, and how to import your own fonts. And then we'll have a Q&A. So if you've got any questions about making videos in LumaFusion, join us for that. And then after that, we've got we've got the rant with Pete Johns. So it should be fun. So folks, I'd just like to say thank you all for supporting me. And as we go out with the music, bring in the music. I'd like to say goodbye to you all, and individually, like we'll do every show now. Who can I see through my magic mirror today? I can see Notabox. Goodbye, Notabox. I can see Audible Video. Goodbye, Audible Video. I can see Sean Chandler. Goodbye, Sean Chandler. Thomas Christ. Goodbye. See you, Darren Anderson. Thank you for being here. Goodbye, Thomas Gallane Music. Goodbye, Stu Cash. Goodbye, Vortex. Goodbye. Goodbye, Pete Johns. Goodbye, Cy-Effin. Goodbye. I love you all. If I've missed you out, I do apologise. I'll catch your name tomorrow. Bye. Remember, folks, do the things that make you happy. Make mistakes, they make you better. And we all rise together.